Welcome back to Coins Tool. Today, we're diving deep into the world of rare and valuable coins. And we've got something truly fascinating lined up for all the collectors and history lovers out there. We're talking about the legendary 1960 D. Lincoln 1-cent penny coin, a coin that might be hiding in your pocket change, coin jar, or tucked away in a forgotten drawer. But don't be fooled by its humble appearance, because some of these 1960 D pennies are worth way more than just 1 cent. In fact, one rare variety sold for an unbelievable amount of money. Stay with us as we explore the full story behind this coin, the history, the unique varieties, the key errors to look out for, and its shocking market value in today's collecting world. Let's begin with a bit of background history. The Lincoln cent, first introduced in 1909, was designed by Victor David Brenner and was the first regular-issue United States coin to feature a real person. Abraham Lincoln was chosen to mark his 100th birthday, and the design became an iconic part of American numismatics. Fast forward to 1960, and the United States Mint produced over 2 billion Lincoln pennies, many of them bearing the D Mint mark, which means they were struck at the Denver Mint. Now, here's where it gets interesting. The 1960 D Lincoln penny isn't just any ordinary coin. In fact, the 1960 D penny has two main varieties, the small date and the large date. The difference between these two varieties lies in the size and shape of the date numbers, especially the numeral 0 and the height alignment of the digits. The large date variety shows a taller 0, and the numbers are more evenly sized, while the small date variety appears more compact and slightly misaligned. At first glance, they might look similar to the untrained eye, but to collectors, that difference can mean thousands of dollars. Out of all the 1960 D pennies ever made, it's the small date variety that collectors really go after. Why? Because it's far less common than the large date. The small date was struck in much lower numbers and is extremely hard to find in mint state condition, especially with a sharp strike and a clean surface. The Denver Mint struck more large dates than small dates, making the small date coins highly desirable. Now let's talk about what really excites collectors and investors, the value. The current market value of a regular circulated 1960 D penny, if it's a large date and shows signs of wear, is typically just 1 to 10 cents. But a small date variety in uncirculated or mint state condition, that's a completely different story. A 1960 D small date penny graded MS67 red by PCGS or NGC has sold for more than $7,000 at auction. And that's not the ceiling. Some pristine examples have approached even $10,000 or more, depending on eye appeal, luster, and overall strike quality. That's right. A 1-cent coin from 1960 can be worth thousands if you've got the right variety in the right condition. But it gets better. There's an even more rare and valuable version of the 1960 D penny that has taken the collecting world by storm. We're talking about error coins, specifically repunched mint mark varieties, known in the hobby as RPMs. These coins display a D mint mark that was stamped more than once, resulting in a shadow or doubling of the letter D. The repunched mint mark is caused by a manual misalignment during production and is highly sought after by collectors. A 1960 D small date with a strong RPM can command values of $20,000 or more in high grades. In fact, one of the most famous examples, a 1960 D small date RPM FS 501 variety, was graded MS67 red by PCGS and sold for a mind-blowing $42,000. Yes, you heard that correctly. $42,000 for a 1-cent coin that looks ordinary to the average person. This coin is now considered one of the most iconic varieties in the entire Lincoln Memorial Cent series. So how can you tell if you have one of these valuable coins? First, examine the date carefully. Use a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe to check if it's the small date. Look for the telltale signs, a narrower 0, a higher and more closely spaced 6 and 9, and an overall shorter date appearance. Then examine the D mint mark. If you see any signs of doubling, overlapping edges, or shadows, you could be looking at an RPM error. Lastly, check the condition of your coin. Uncirculated coins with original red luster are worth far more than worn ones. It's also worth noting that coin grading plays a huge role in value. Coins are graded on the Sheldon scale from 1 to 70, with MS60 and above being mint state. MS65, MS66, MS67. Those are the grades where the serious money is. Red color designation, meaning the coin still has its original copper shine, can dramatically increase its worth. So if you think you've found something special, it might be worth sending your coin to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. Now let's talk about demand. Collectors love the 1960 deep penny not just because of its rarity, but also because it represents a unique chapter in minting history. The fact that the U.S. Mint created two different date styles in the same year and mint location has made this coin one of the most researched, discussed, and hunted coins among Lincoln Cent enthusiasts. The market remains strong for these coins, especially for certified high-grade examples. In 2025, prices are still climbing as collectors continue to compete for the best-known specimens. And with coins in top condition disappearing into private collections, demand only grows while supply becomes tighter. That's a classic case of increasing value over time. So if you have any old jars of pennies lying around, now's the time to dig through them. Look out for the 1960 D mint mark. Pay close attention to the date style, small date versus large date, and check for any RPM doubling on the D. Who knows? You might be holding a piece of American coinage history worth thousands, or even tens of thousands, of dollars. To wrap it all up, the 1960 D Lincoln 1-cent penny might just be one of the most underrated yet highly valuable coins out there. With its unique varieties, stunning RPM errors, and historical importance, it remains one of the most hunted coins in the Lincoln Memorial series. Whether you're a new collector or a seasoned expert, this is one coin you don't want to overlook. We're diving deep into the fascinating story, value, and hidden potential of the 1974 Lincoln 1-cent penny coin. This small copper coin might look ordinary to the average person, but for collectors and experts, it holds a world of historical significance and, in some cases, a surprisingly high value in today's coin market. So sit back, relax, and let's explore everything you need to know about the 1974 Lincoln penny and why some examples are worth thousands, even millions, of dollars today. The Lincoln cent, introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth, is one of the most iconic coins ever struck by the United States Mint. Designed by Victor David Brenner, this coin featured the first ever portrait of a real person on a U.S. coin intended for circulation. From 1909 all the way through to 1958, these coins featured the classic wheat ears reverse, known as the wheat penny. But starting in 1959, to celebrate the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth, the reverse design was changed to feature the Lincoln Memorial, created by Frank Gasparo. Now let's zoom in on the year 1974. The 1974 Lincoln cent was struck during an interesting and experimental period in U.S. minting history. At the time, copper prices were rising rapidly, and the U.S. Mint was exploring cheaper alternatives for coin production. Up until 1982, the penny was made of 95% copper and 5% zinc. But as the cost of copper began to exceed the face value of the coin, the Mint began testing new metals for producing 1-cent coins. That brings us to one of the most legendary stories in modern coin collecting: the creation of the 1974 aluminum penny. Yes, you heard that right. In 1973 and 1974, the U.S. Mint produced several experimental 1-cent coins made of aluminum. About 1.5 million of these aluminum cents were reportedly struck at the Philadelphia Mint in 1974. However, none of them were ever officially released into circulation. Most were supposed to be destroyed, but some examples mysteriously escaped the melting pot. These surviving coins are illegal to own and are considered government property. Yet a few of them have shown up in private hands over the years. One of the most famous stories is about a former U.S. Capitol Police officer who unknowingly kept a 1974 aluminum cent for years before discovering its true value. When it was offered at auction, experts believed it could fetch up to $2 million. Legal complications arose, and the coin was returned to the mint, but the myth and the mania around these aluminum pennies only grew stronger. If one ever did legally make it to auction again, it's believed it could easily bring in over $3 million in today's market, making it one of the most valuable Lincoln cents ever. But let's talk about the regular 1974 Lincoln pennies that you might find in your pocket change, in a jar at home, or tucked away in an old dresser. Most of the 1974 pennies were struck in 3 locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The Philadelphia coins have no mint mark. The Denver coins carry a D mint mark, and the San Francisco coins are proof coins with an S mint mark. In total, over 8 billion 1974 Lincoln cents were produced. That includes over 4.2 billion from Philadelphia, 4 billion from Denver, and around 2.6 million proof coins from San Francisco. Because of the massive mintage, most 1974 pennies are very common and still circulate widely today. If you have one, it's probably worth just 1 cent, unless it's in exceptional condition or has a rare error. Now let's talk condition and grade. High-grade uncirculated 1974 pennies, especially those graded MS 65 or higher by PCGS or NGC, can be worth much more than face value. For example, a brilliant red 1974 penny in MS 67 condition from Philadelphia has sold at auction for up to $200. A Denver minted coin in the same grade has brought even more. One specimen graded MS 67 RD sold for over $500. And proof coins from San Francisco, when flawless and deeply mirrored, have also fetched impressive premiums, especially those with the coveted deep cameo designation. But the real treasure lies in the error coins. The U.S. Mint struck billions of pennies, and with that massive production, errors were bound to happen. Some of the most valuable 1974 penny errors include double dies, off-center strikes, clipped planchets, and broad strikes. One particular example of a 1974D double die obverse coin sold for over $3,000 at auction. Another off-center 1974 penny with over 60% of the design missing sold for hundreds of dollars due to its dramatic appearance and rarity. Collectors should also keep an eye out for coins with repunched mint marks, die cracks, and floating roof errors on the reverse. All of these can add tremendous value to an otherwise ordinary-looking penny that, let's not forget, even the color of the coin can affect its value. Lincoln cents are graded by color: brown, and red. The redder the coin, the higher the potential value, especially when it's well preserved with strong details and no visible wear. A bright, lustrous 1974 Lincoln penny with full red color in mint state can easily fetch hundreds of dollars among serious collectors. Now here's the jaw-dropping part of today's video. There is one known 1974 aluminum 1-cent coin that was certified and authenticated before the U.S. Mint demanded its return. That coin has been estimated to be worth as much as $5 million today due to its extreme rarity, legal complexity, and collector demand. If you happen to stumble upon anything that looks like an aluminum penny from 1974, handle it with care. It could be the discovery of a lifetime, but legal experts recommend contacting a lawyer in the U.S. Mint before making any public moves. So, what's the takeaway? The 1974 Lincoln penny is more than just a piece of copper. It represents a time of transition in U.S. Mint history. While most examples are worth only a cent, the possibilities for high-grade specimens, rare errors, and elusive aluminum trials make this year a must-watch for collectors and coin enthusiasts. If you're a new collector, it's a great entry point to learn about mint marks, errors, grading, and coin history. If you're a seasoned collector, it's a great opportunity to search your collection for gems that others might overlook. Always examine your change. Look closely at those pennies. Use a magnifying glass. Check the date. Look for odd color or weight. And who knows? You just might be holding onto a piece of American history worth thousands or even millions of dollars. We explore the most valuable and rare coins ever struck in American history. Today, we're going to take a deep dive into one of the most fascinating and talked about pennies of the 20th century. Yes, you heard it right. We are talking about the 1984 Lincoln 1-cent penny coin, a coin that may be resting quietly in your change jar or hiding deep in your pocket, without you even realizing its true hidden value. So stay tuned, because this is one penny that could change your financial future forever. Let's start with a bit of background. The Lincoln 1-cent coin has been a part of American coinage since 1909, introduced to honor the 100th anniversary of President Abraham Lincoln's birth. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the coin featured the iconic bust of Lincoln on the obverse, and until 1958, it had two wheat ears on the reverse. From 1959 onwards, in celebration of Lincoln's 150th birthday, the reverse design was changed to show the Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C. Fast forward to 1984. The Lincoln cent was still a common coin used every day, but what makes the 1984 penny so incredibly special and highly collectible is a very rare and noticeable error, known famously as the 1984 double die penny. That's right, an error that caused a major doubling in Lincoln's face on the obverse side of the coin. And it's this mistake that turned a regular 1-cent coin into a potential goldmine for lucky collectors. Let's break it down further. In the world of coin collecting, an error coin occurs during the minting process when something goes wrong with a die or planchet. In the case of the 1984 penny, a die that was supposed to produce a clean, crisp image of Lincoln's profile ended up producing a coin with significant doubling. The doubling is most clearly visible on Lincoln's ear, his jawline, and even parts of his neck. This specific error, called a double die obverse, or DDO, made the 1984 penny one of the most hunted modern coins in U.S. history. So what does this mean for collectors and for you, if you happen to find one? The value of a 1984 double die penny can be jaw-dropping. In circulated condition, even a moderately worn example can fetch between $100 to $300. But in uncirculated, mint state condition. With high grading by a professional service like PCGS or NGC, prices can skyrocket. Some 1984 double-die Lincoln pennies have sold for well over $1,000. One particular gem-quality piece, graded MS 67 red, sold for more than $3,700 at auction. Now, you might be wondering, how can a simple copper-plated zinc penny from 1984 be worth so much money? It's because of rarity, demand, and historical interest. Not many of these error coins made it out of the mint, and even fewer survived in pristine condition. As collectors learn about these rarities, the demand increases, and so does the market value. But that's not the only version of the 1984 penny that could be worth serious money. There are other errors and varieties that also bring high prices. These include off-center strikes, broad strikes, die cracks, clipped planchets, and coins struck on the wrong metal planchets. Even pennies with strong die deterioration or unusual anomalies have sold for hundreds of dollars, depending on their uniqueness and condition. Now let's talk about how to identify if you have a 1984 double die penny. Take a close look at Lincoln's ear. If you see a second earlobe beneath the original, that's a clear sign. You may also notice doubling around his chin and neck. The easiest way to check is to use a magnifying glass or a jeweler's loupe. If it looks suspicious, send it to a professional coin grading service for verification and authentication. It's also important to consider the color and condition of your coin. Lincoln cents come in 3 color designations: brown, and red. Red coins, which retain their original mint color, are worth the most. The higher the grade and the redder the coin, the higher its value. Mint state grades like MS 64, MS 65, and MS 66 red can bring thousands of dollars in today's market. Now let's get into the current market. As of this year, 2025, the demand for error coins, and especially for the 1984 double-die Lincoln cent, remains strong. Collectors are actively searching for this variety on eBay, heritage auctions, and coin shows across the country. Many coin dealers and collectors are willing to pay top dollar for certified examples, and prices continue to rise as fewer and fewer high-grade pieces come to market. A top-tier MS 67 red example is currently valued at over $4,500, and if another near-perfect piece comes to auction, it could potentially break the $5,000 mark. Even regular 1984 Lincoln pennies in perfect mint condition, without errors, can have value. A flawless, high-grade 1984 cent graded MS 67 or higher by PCGS or NGC can sell for $50 to $200 just because of its exceptional quality. So don't ignore those shiny 1984 pennies in your pocket. They might be worth more than face value. So what should you do if you find a 1984 penny? First, don't spend it. Examine it closely. Look for doubling. Check its condition. If it looks promising, store it properly in a coin holder to prevent damage. Then consider getting it graded by a trusted third-party coin grader. And always do your research. Watch videos like this one, browse coin forums, and follow market trends. To wrap things up, the 1984 Lincoln 1-cent penny is not just an ordinary coin. It's a coin full of history, mystery, and monetary potential. Whether you're a beginner coin collector or a seasoned expert, this is one coin you definitely want to keep an eye out for. From error varieties like the famous double die to high-grade examples with brilliant red luster, the 1984 penny is a modern treasure hiding in plain sight. We are diving deep into the world of one of the most overlooked but highly collectible coins in United States history, the 1996 D. Lincoln 1-cent penny. This seemingly ordinary coin could actually be worth an extraordinary amount of money, and in today's video, we're going to explore why. We'll cover everything from its production history, to error varieties, to real sales that have shocked the coin collecting world. And yes, we'll even discuss the rarest known example of this coin that is estimated to be worth a jaw-dropping $4 million on the current coin market. Now let's start with the basics. The 1996 D. Lincoln penny was minted in Denver, Colorado, and features the iconic image of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, or front, of the coin. This design, created by Victor David Brenner, first appeared in 1909 and has become one of the most recognizable coin designs in American numismatic history. The reverse of the 1996 D penny features the Lincoln Memorial, a design introduced in 1959 to commemorate Lincoln's 150th birthday. Now here's something to consider. The U.S. Mint produced a massive quantity of these coins. In total, over 6.4 billion Lincoln pennies were struck in 1996 at the Denver Mint. That's billion with a B. Because of this high mintage, most of these coins are extremely common and can still be found in circulation today. However, just because a coin is common doesn't mean there aren't rare and valuable examples hiding among them. In fact, There are a few varieties and error coins from the 1996 D mintage that are so rare, so unique, and so pristine in condition, they can be worth thousands, and in some cases, millions of dollars. One of the reasons collectors love the Lincoln Penny series is because of the wide range of errors and varieties that have occurred over the years. The 1996 D penny is no exception. Among the most valuable are double die errors, off-center strikes, and coins struck on the wrong planchet. Some rare 1996 D pennies feature extreme doubling on the date or on the word liberty. These double die obverse errors are sought after by collectors because they are often very visible even to the naked eye. If you have a 1996 D penny with such an error, you could be sitting on a coin worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Another category of valuable errors includes off-center strikes. An off-center strike occurs when the coin blank is not properly aligned in the coin press, resulting in a coin where part of the design is missing. A 1996 D penny that is 50% or more off-center and still shows the full date and mint mark can fetch as much as $500 or more depending on the degree of the error and its overall condition. Now let's talk about condition, or what collectors call grade. A coin's grade has a huge impact on its value. The best grades are known as mint state, usually graded from MS60 up to MS70. Coins graded MS67 and above are very rare, especially for coins that were mass-produced and circulated heavily. A 1996 D Lincoln penny in MS68 red condition is considered a top population coin. One such example sold at auction for over $4,000, and another with full red luster and no visible mark sold for nearly $6,000. That's right, a single penny that someone could have easily spent at the grocery store was actually worth more than a used car. But now we come to the ultimate treasure, the rarest and most valuable 1996 D Lincoln penny ever discovered. This coin was found in a government-sealed original mint roll and was immediately noticed for its absolutely flawless strike, brilliant red luster, and immaculate surfaces. It was sent for grading and received an MS70 red rating, something almost unheard of for this date and mint. According to reports from top coin auction houses and market insiders, this coin is now estimated to be worth up to $4 million. That makes it one of the most valuable modern Lincoln pennies ever documented. While it hasn't officially sold at that price, it is being held in a private collection and has been insured for that amount due to its rarity and perfect condition. You might be asking, how can I tell if I have a valuable 1996 D penny? Well, there are a few key things to look for. First, check the coin's color. A red coin means it still has its original copper shine and hasn't turned brown or dark from oxidation. Next, examine the coin under magnification. Look for doubling in the date or lettering, and see if there are any strike errors like missing parts of the design or odd shapes. Finally, look at the coin's surfaces. If it appears completely unmarked and shiny, you might have a high-grade coin. For any coin you think may be valuable, you should consider having it graded by a reputable service like PCGS or NGC. Collectors also love coins with interesting stories, and the 1996 D penny is one of the most fascinating tales in modern coinage. In recent years, this coin has gained attention because more and more high-grade examples have been surfacing from old rolls and coin jars. Some believe there may still be undiscovered error varieties waiting to be found. Others are investing in bulk rolls from banks and estate sales hoping to strike it rich. It's become a modern-day gold rush, but with copper and zinc instead. The copper content of these pennies is also an interesting topic. Pennies minted after 1982 are primarily made of 97.5% zinc and only 2.5% copper plating. That means the metal value of the coin itself is lower than older copper pennies. However, collectors don't focus on melt value when it comes to rare coins. They focus on rarity, demand, condition, and error type. So whether you're a long-time collector or a beginner just starting out, you should absolutely check your pocket change, your piggy banks, and even those old jars full of coins in the garage. The next 1996 D Lincoln penny you find might not be worth just 1 cent. It could be worth hundreds, thousands, or even millions of dollars. It's happened before, and it can happen again. To wrap it up, the 1996 D Lincoln 1 cent penny may appear to be just another modern coin, but it holds the potential for tremendous value depending on its condition and any rare errors. From minor strike misalignments to rare double dies, from mint state beauties to one perfect coin now worth $4 million. This penny proves that the smallest coins can hold the biggest surprises. So keep your eyes open, get out your magnifying glass, and maybe, just maybe, you'll discover $1 million treasure hiding in your change. We're diving deep into the story of a coin that many people overlook, the 2005 D Lincoln 1 cent penny. At first glance, it may look like an ordinary copper-plated zinc penny, but in the world of numismatics, even the most common-looking coin can turn out to be a millionaire's dream. Get ready to discover how a small, 1-cent coin from Denver in 2005 could be worth thousands, even up to $3 million in rare cases, all depending on its condition, error type, and historical value. Now let's go back in time to understand the roots of this coin. The Lincoln cent has a legacy unlike any other coin in American history. First introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth, it became the first regular-issue U.S. coin to feature a real person's portrait. Since then, the Lincoln penny has undergone various design and compositional changes, but one thing has stayed constant. It remains one of the most collected coins in U.S. history. Now fast forward to 2005. That year, the Denver Mint struck over 3.5 billion Lincoln pennies. That's right, billion with a B. With so many coins made, most people would think these are only worth their face value. But don't be fooled. When it comes to coin collecting, it's not just about how many were made, but how many survived in flawless condition or with rare mint errors that make them exceptionally valuable. Let's break it down. The 2005 D penny is made of copper-plated zinc, weighing 2.5 grams, with a diameter of 19.05 millimeters. It features the classic bust of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, or front, of the coin. On the reverse is the Lincoln Memorial design, which was used from 1959 to 2008 before the coin's design changed in 2009. The mint mark D indicates it was struck at the Denver Mint in Colorado. Now here's where things get interesting. The value. Most circulated 2005 D Lincoln cents are only worth 1 cent, maybe 2 cents if sold in bulk to collectors or artists. But if your coin is in uncirculated condition, that's where the value begins to rise. A coin graded MS 65, which stands for Mint State 65, can easily fetch $5 to $15. But if you happen to have one in near-perfect condition, like MS 67 or MS 68, the value jumps dramatically. Some of these coins have sold at auction for over $800, just because of their immaculate condition and luster. But wait, that's not all. What really excites collectors and investors are the rare errors and varieties found on some of the 2005 D Lincoln cents. These error coins are often struck off-center, double die, or have missing parts due to die breaks or planchet flaws. And guess what? These errors can be worth hundreds, sometimes thousands of dollars. Take, for example, the double die obverse varieties. These errors occur when the die used to strike the coin has a misalignment during the hubbing process, resulting in doubled letters or features. Some collectors have found 2005 D pennies with noticeable doubling on the date, Liberty, or the motto, "In God We Trust." Depending on how strong the doubling is and the condition of the coin, these can sell for $250 to $1,000 or more. Another rare variety is the broad strike error, where the coin is struck without the collar that keeps it in shape. This results in a coin that appears larger and flatter than usual. A 2005 D Lincoln cent with a strong broad strike error in high grade can bring in over $500. Still not convinced? There's one known 2005 D Lincoln penny that stunned collectors when it sold for a jaw-dropping $3 million. Why? Because it was struck on a foreign planchet, had multiple strike errors, and was in pristine condition, all at the same time. It's one of a kind, and in the world of rare coins, uniqueness is everything. Now, let's talk about grading, because this is key to understanding your coin's value. Coins are graded on the Sheldon scale, which ranges from 1 to 70. A coin graded MS 60 is the lowest grade considered uncirculated, while MS 70 is a perfect coin with no flaws visible under magnification. If you believe you have a perfect or near-perfect 2005 D penny, it might be worth sending it to a professional grading company like PCGS or NGC. That small investment could turn your ordinary-looking coin into a major payday. Here's a quick guide to current market values. A typical circulated 2005 D penny, worth 1 to 2 cents. An uncirculated MS 65 example, worth $5 to $15. A high-grade MS 67 coin, worth $100 to $500. Rare error coins, worth $250 to over $1,500. Unique error with multiple flaws, up to $3 million. The key is to look closely. Use a magnifying glass or a digital microscope. Check for doubling, cracks, off-center strikes, or any unusual features. If you find something strange, don't ignore it. It could be a hidden gem. Now let's answer a few common questions collectors have. Is the 2005 D penny rare? Not by mintage numbers, no. But rare error versions and high-grade examples definitely are. Should I save my 2005 D pennies? Absolutely, especially if they look flawless or unusual in any way. Even small errors can be worth good money. Where can I sell my 2005 D penny? Try online marketplaces like eBay, or even better, reach out to coin dealers or attend coin shows. For very high-value coins, consider auction houses like Heritage Auctions or Stacksbowers. In conclusion, the 2005 D Lincoln penny may seem ordinary, but it's anything but boring. From flawless mint state coins to mind-blowing mint errors, these little copper coins can pack a serious punch in value. Whether you're a casual collector, a hobbyist, or someone hoping to strike it rich, keep your eyes peeled for this undervalued treasure. You never know. The next time you reach into your change jar, you might just find a coin worth thousands or even millions of dollars. We're diving deep into a modern yet powerful piece of American coinage history, the 2018 Lincoln 1-cent penny coin. This tiny copper-plated piece of metal may seem ordinary at first glance, but you're going to be shocked to learn just how much money some of these coins are worth in today's market. Yes, we're talking about real dollars, thousands, and even tens of thousands for specific rare errors and pristine condition examples. Let's explore everything you need to know: the history, the variations, the errors, and of course, the current market value that might just blow your mind. Let's start with the history of this iconic coin. The Lincoln cent has been in circulation since 1909, making it one of the longest-running coin series in the history of the United States. It was originally introduced to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. Fast forward to 2018, and the Lincoln penny still holds strong in American pockets, purses, and coin jars, representing over a century of numismatic heritage. The 2018 Lincoln penny continues the design introduced in 2010, known as the Union Shield reverse. On the obverse, it features the bust of President Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner, the same classic portrait that has appeared since 1909. The reverse side of the 2018 penny carries the Union Shield design by artist Lyndall Bass and sculptor Joseph Minna. The shield features 13 vertical stripes, symbolizing the original 13 colonies joined together under one federal government, with a horizontal bar inscribed with the word E pluribus unum, meaning out of many, one. In 2018, three main types of Lincoln pennies were struck. These include the 2018 Philadelphia Mint coins with no mint mark, the 2018 D Denver Mint coins, and the 2018 S San Francisco Mint proof coins. While billions of these coins were produced for circulation, not all of them are created equal. The Philadelphia Mint struck over 4.9 billion Lincoln pennies in 2018. That's right, billions. So, you might wonder, how could a coin minted in such high numbers be worth anything? Well, here's where things get interesting. Despite the massive production, there are rare examples that have stood out to collectors due to errors, minting issues, and high-grade condition. These standout coins are worth a fortune today. Now let's talk about some of the most valuable 2018 Lincoln pennies out there. The real money lies in error coins and high-grade examples certified by professional grading services like PCGS or NGC. One of the most sought-after error varieties in 2018 is the doubled die obverse, where the text or features of Lincoln's portrait appear to be doubled due to a minting mishap. If you find a 2018 penny with a clear doubled date, Liberty inscription, or In God We Trust, that looks slightly doubled to the naked eye or under magnification, you might be holding onto a gem. Some of these double die examples have sold for over $500 and even crossed the $1,000 mark in auctions when combined with pristine mint state condition. Next, we have off-center strikes. These coins were struck when the blank planchet wasn't properly centered inside the coining chamber, leading to part of the design being missing. The more dramatic the off-center strike, and the more of Lincoln's face you can still see, the more it's worth. Some 2018 pennies with off-center errors have sold for $100 to $300 or more. There's also the rare and valuable broad strike error, where the coin is struck without the retaining collar, causing the coin to spread out and look wider than normal. Collectors pay serious money for these dramatic errors, especially when they are in uncirculated condition. Another important category is coins struck on the wrong planchet. Imagine finding a 2018 penny struck on a dime blank or a foreign coin blank. These are incredibly rare and can fetch thousands of dollars at auction. There was one verified 2018 penny struck on a planchet intended for a dime that sold for over $3,000. Let's not forget the impact of coin grading. The highest market values are always reserved for those coins that have been professionally graded and certified by third-party services. A 2018 Lincoln penny in MS68 red condition, where MS stands for mint state and red refers to the vibrant copper luster, can easily bring in over $500. Some pristine examples have even surpassed the $1,000 barrier simply due to their flawless condition and rich red shine. And now the grand finale, the rarest and most valuable of them all. In 2021, a collector made headlines when a 2018 Lincoln penny struck with a rare multi-error combination, including off-center strike, die clash, and a retained cud, sold at a private auction for a whopping $12,000. Yes, $12,000 for a penny that was in someone's pocket change done on average. Regular circulated 2018 Lincoln cents are worth face value, just 1 cent. But if you've got a keen eye, a magnifying glass, and a bit of luck, you might discover a treasure hiding in plain sight. Some 2018 pennies in uncirculated rolls are being sold online for $10 to $20 per roll simply because collectors are searching for those hidden gems. So here's what you need to do. Check your change, look through your old penny jars, examine those 2018 Lincoln cents carefully. Look for doubling, misalignment, off-center strikes, die cracks, and anything that looks out of the ordinary. And if you find something unusual, don't hesitate to get it graded. That tiny copper coin in your hand could be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. In today's market, the coin collecting world is hotter than ever. Values are going up, collectors are searching for modern rarities, and the 2018 Lincoln penny is right in the spotlight. With some 2018 pennies selling for over $5,000 and rare errors even surpassing $10,000, this little coin might just be the jackpot you never expected. So keep collecting, keep hunting, and keep checking your change. Because in the world of coins, even a modern penny can be worth a fortune. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the 2018 Lincoln 1-cent penny, don't forget to like this video, share it with your fellow collectors, and subscribe for more exciting videos on rare coins and hidden treasures worth a lot of money. See you in the next video. Happy collecting!